So today, when I was getting up and getting dressed, I'm like, I'm going to be on the panel with these fashionistas in e-commerce and retail. And I said, what can I wear? And then I said, I cannot beat them up with their fashion wear. And look at how pretty you are and how wonderful you are dressed up. Yes, exactly. Our panelists are all from Harvard Business School. So when I was reading the bios, and it turns out that Demet and Amy are actually from the same class. Did you guys know each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't know each other?
We went on many vacations together.
I've been to her wedding. Last time I was in Istanbul was for your wedding.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And did you brainstorm together or connect while you were getting the startup off the ground?
We kind of. I mean, we were part of the entrepreneurial club, the retail and fashion society too, so we would always talk about business plans and what we want to do together.
Demi was also ahead of us, and so when we were launching, it was really nice to know that there were people we could call with questions and concerns who kind of been there, done that. Definitely gives you peace of mind as an entrepreneur.
As we are getting started, this panel is going to be a conversation about disintermediation and the disruption. And then we'll talk about the growth, and you are at different stages of growth as the panelists. And then we'll talk about the internationalization and the localization. So great ideas spread really fast. So to get started, I thought you will introduce yourselves, but you have done a fantastic job about the Gilt, so I will tweak that question a little bit, Alexis. So getting the consumer the first time in the US with private shopping and getting off the ground, how did things take off? And what you did not perhaps mention here is how did the ecosystem react? How long did it take? You are on internet, and then you have these Bloomingdale's or other old-fashioned brick-and-mortar companies. So how did the disruption that you did bring in react with the marketplace? And how did you use the innovation? You've seen the robots, you've seen the other technology, but you have to keep on innovating to be at the forefront. So the interaction back and forth and the use of technology. Can you just tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. Well, I think first we really had the biggest disruption with customers and how they were shopping. Just through word-of-mouth marketing, not actually through paid marketing in our first year, we reached 1 million people in probably about 8 to 10 months' time, where individuals were inviting their friends and inviting their friends. And at the time, it was because, one, you didn't have access to much of these products and brands online, but also because it was the best way to find those brands at the prices featured as well. As we started with just 8 brands in our first couple, let's say, weeks as a company, from then it started really growing, where the brands themselves would call us, we'd reach out to them, and it was probably about 4 months in, to answer your question, where we saw a lot of the department stores starting to push back. Trying to lean into our partners, saying, well, if you work with them, we might not pick up as much of your line in the next season. Most of the response that our brands would give, though, was along the lines of, well, if you were able to buy more effectively and not return as much product to us at the end of the season, this wouldn't be a necessity. So there wasn't much the department stores could do. And actually, we watched them about 2 years later all introduce the same business model. So first they tried to see if there was a way to quiet this new way of shopping, and then they all launched their own versions of Gilt Group. From there, we watched the major e-commerce players in the US as well. eBay went into our space, so did Amazon and others. So I expect even growing competition. We've seen it internationally as well, and it's not over yet.
It's not over yet. So, Amy, can you tell us a little bit about Baublebar and how the idea came about and what it is?
Yeah, sure. So we launched Baublebar in January 2011, and we're building the first go-to retailer for the $22 billion fashion jewelry category. My co-founder and I had the idea for Baublebar when we were shopping for shoes at Saks Fifth Avenue in New York City. We were just realizing that we used to not blink an eye about spending a fair bit of money on shoes, but had never once gone downstairs and bought a statement necklace for a couple $100s. And we truly were the target consumers, and we just felt if we weren't buying it, who was? So we started talking to a lot of women, and it turned out a lot of women felt their needs for the category weren't being met. And it always came down to two things, and it was value and selection. From the value, we learned that retailers use fashion jewelry to make up for margin on a lot of their other lines of business. They mark it up sometimes up to 20 times cost. The interesting thing, however, is fashion jewelry is kind of the one category that women wear where they actually don't care about the brand, and they don't value it, and they're not willing to pay for it. You know, when a woman buys a handbag, she is willing to pay a little bit more money for the logo or the hardware. For shoes, women maybe have a brand that they like the fit. Fashion jewelry, women want a style and a quality and a great price point where they're not going to feel guilty if they don't wear it after the trend's over. On the selection side, because retailers treat the category as an impulse purchase, no one was really focusing on providing a great merchandise experience, making it fun, engaging, and the merchandise is, you know, fairly stale. It would only update once a season. So that's where Baublebar comes in. We source our product direct from a very large, extensive network of designer partners. We sell it through our website under the Baublebar brand name, and we sell it without the high markup that traditional retailers apply to it. We introduce new SKUs on a daily basis, probably about 100 to 150 per week, and we curate and we editorialize it. We tell women how to wear it, how to update their wardrobe.